Welcome back to another episode of Real Actors. That's right, The Return. Well, do you like tigers? Do you like running up and down hills? Do you like desert scenes? And then, movie shot in the desert and then shot in the desert and then shot in a desert? Do you like Vegas? Do you like books? Because this man doesn't. Do you like coffee? Well, this man spills it in his own face. That's right. We're talking about none other than the national treasure, Neil Breen. And with me today, my sister, the Walking Deb. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be a part of this one. This will be great. And the question is, do you like tuna?
I knew I was missing something.
Do you like tuna?
Because this man loves tuna so fucking much.
And do you love laptops?
And satellite dishes as well, right?
Hey, DirecTV, right in the car.
He loves satellite dishes. He could never get those dishes to work
because he was never screwing them on. He was like screwing like underneath, like he was never screwing anything. Wrong.
Yeah. It's just
downright. Wait, he was never screwing anything. That was bad. Okay, wait, I didn't say that because he was screwing something in one movie. Never mind.
So let's give some context here. I mean, Neil Breen is I guess you could say kind of an elderly gentleman from Las Vegas, Nevada. His name is Neil Francis Breen. Of course, his middle name is Francis.
Years old. He's 60. I looked it up. He's 60.
60 years old. And he is just, you know what? He's trying. It's hard to, I did some research on Mr. Breen. And it's hard to really be mad at him because he really is just trying. He's aware of the cult status. He's just doing his thing. He's literally like shooting the movies. He's writing the movies. He's like catering the movies. He's literally feeding the crew himself.
He wears all the hats. He wears many hats.
And he wears all the hats and shows all the nutsacks.
And the tank tops and the nutsacks.
So, yeah, before we go further, I do have a special guest today. I tried to find a beer that is, like, worthy of Neil Breen, and I couldn't. So I really thought hard, and I said, one of my favorite scenes from a Neil Breen film, and that is from the second film, I Am Here, ... now. At the end, and we're going to talk about it, one of the stock footage moments is a family of dolphin. What is the official term for a family? It's not a school. A pod. Oh, perfect. It's right now. You're gonna really make fun of me because it's right here on my beer. A pod of dolphin are swimming in this wonderful stock footage that he has used.
And then what happens?
And then what happens is one of the dolphins shits right in the camera lens.
Oh, right.
So not only is it stock footage, but it's one that he could have edited down to kind of. But no,
because it shows that same stock footage like 5 times in that movie. The same stock footage, and he doesn't show that part. Only at the end is the dolphin shooting.
That's right. And it's, of course, I mean, it's a shitty film for a shitty scene. Yeah, MTG strategist in the chat says, "Let's get real." Yeah, we're back. So so without further ado, I have the Mod Pod, and this is a IPA. It even says down and dirty. It says it's going to taste like tropical fruit, candied orange, tangerine. So yeah, it's a 7%. It's a really ugly looking dolphin. This is the Neil Breen of dolphins. So actually, this is a whale. I don't know what I'm talking about tonight.
It's okay, it's a fish.
Debbie, do you have a special guest?
I do. It's this. It's called Curious Beasts. It's a wine. I like the label. It's really cool.
Ooh.
And since he's kind of a curious beast himself, I thought it was perfect. And my bottle's now empty because I've been drinking this bottle for a while now.
Perfect. Is that a Pinot Noir?
It is. Oh, wow. What is it? It's a Chardonnay.
It's a Chardonnay. Ooh, okay, gotcha.
With my skull glass, so I'm happy.
All right. Well, cheers, and cheers to the Breen.
To the Breen.
Hashtag Eyes on Breen. So, if you've ever heard of Neil Breen, chances are that you're either someone like Debbie that has, I had to pass the Breenness on. and so I had to invade my poor sister's life with Neil Breen films. Or you probably heard about them through my favorite YouTube channel, and that's Red Letter Media. They had Max Landis flew out to Milwaukee, who's a filmmaker, and they did a best of the worst. And they reviewed one of the movies they reviewed was Double Down, which was Neil Breen's first feature film. First feature film. Yeah, that sounded funny when I said it. But they sat there and I mean, go watch that movie or go watch that review. It's just like the best thing ever.
I saw it. It's wonderful. I watched that too. I thought it was fantastic.
And it did its job. It did its job to where it made me fascinated about this enigmatic man that is Neil Breen. And so, you know, everyone starts. So did you watch these films in chronological order, Deb?
I didn't. Well, I watched them all twice. We watched like the those cuts we watched. So I watched them all twice. That second time I did watch them in chronological order. And I realized they were all different versions of the same movie. They really were. They were like different. They were all different versions of the same movie. He's like in Double Down. He's in all of them. He's the best at everything he does.
Yes.
I mean, Double Down. What is it? He's a fighter pilot, and he has all the medals, and he works for some agency that doesn't even exist, but he's like the best, and he's the best at everything. So he must have some like insecurity issues in real life because he has to be like Kevin Costner. But so he has to be the best in everything.
Sure. And he has he lives out of the back of this like Oldsmobile, but he just uses it to store his tuna. He only eats tuna, just cans and cans of tuna, and then he has 2 satellite dishes which he is constantly working on. But he has rigged them in a way so when someone does find him out in the desert, it causes immediate like brain melting.
The death, instant death.
But you know, bleeding out of the eyes. You got more gore and effects out of that, him killing people that way, than all the people shooting people when they just literally say bang and there's no exit or blood or anything.
Well, none of his guns were loaded. Like he would keep checking the guns to make sure they weren't loaded. It looked like. Yeah. I mean, there was no bullets in the guns. I mean, he kept his little like shot, his little injections in a sponge case. It was a sponge.
Yes.
None of the laptops were ever on.
But he was constantly on them.
They were on them. They just weren't on.
Yes.
In the middle of the desert in Vegas, there's no reception anyway. He would please. Then again, he did invent all the satellites, so maybe he would get some because he was the inventor of the satellites that were overhead because he invented everything. That movie.
I mean that film is so I guess he's a secret agent, but he's not because he got so the government killed his wife because he got too powerful. He got too powerful for them and he could do too much. He controlled too much. So they killed his wife. So they couldn't kill him because he had biological warfare weapon things in different countries that would blow up if he didn't do a certain thing at a certain time. So they couldn't kill him. Right. Yeah. His weapon of choice was anthrax,
which he wipes like a handful on somebody. A whole handful, enough to kill the entire population of the earth. Wipes it on a man just walking by him, and then puts it in Lake Mead. Just puts it in the lake. Everyone's dead now. Everyone's dead. Really,
right?
He'd be dead.
One of my favorite scenes is him testing the anthrax on the local water supply, even though he's in the middle of the desert, and you just see stock footage of fish, and then you see you just see like fish that he just bought at a Smith's. Yeah, just sitting on.
It's oh my god, the stock footage everywhere. Stock footage. And the same stock footage scenes like 5 times in the movie, like every time, like over and over and over again.
Yeah, and this is
great.
this is
great.
If it's not stock footage or it's not footage of him running up and down hills in Red Rock, it's him driving around in Vegas. Yeah, I was really surprised that he actually filmed in Vegas because you know it's hard to do that because you need permits and stuff, and you could tell everything was just kind of guerrilla marketing. Like he was at the he was at the steps of the municipal court, which I've been there for like jury duty when I used to live in Las Vegas, and he has those two dirty agent guys that like hire him, and then I think he winds up shooting later. But you see them walking up the steps. But then if you notice, like at one point he doesn't cut it right, and so they all like start scrambling because it looks like the cops were coming.
Well, the editing was terrible, and I mean, the editing was just something else anyway. I mean, I don't even understand how. I don't know the music, the editing, the scenes would go to another scene that made absolutely no sense whatsoever to the scene before it. But I did love the scene where he opens his trunk and all the empty cans of tuna come falling out. Like, why are you keeping like 1,000 empty cans of tuna in the trunk of your car?
Right. Well, because he had to drop the magic rock. The old man.
That's right.
So he's hired to kill an old man in the middle of the desert. Good thing he lives in the middle of the desert. By the way, he doesn't sleep in the car. He sleeps on the side of the car with writing, which appears to be blood.
Yeah, help me in blood on the side of the car.
Sure. So, so that's where he lives. So he was hired to kill this old man. And then he finds the old man, and the old man's injured, so he tries to help him. Then the old man falls down and dies and turns into a piece of fool's gold.
He tells him, I don't know, he tells him you're the one, and he hands him the piece of fool's gold, and that's that scene. And then he's like a godlike figure who decides he doesn't want to destroy the country anymore, and he wants to change his ways, but he gets so conflicted. So conflicted.
Yeah, as he states, as his infantile tantrum, where he goes, "I'm an American," and he's in the sand, pounding the sand. Oh no!
And he has to say it twice, though. Everything he has to say twice. Every line. Why? not just him though. It's like the other actors. He makes them say them twice too. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, always dirty politician man says, we do this for corruption and business, and we do it for the payoffs. Yeah, we do it for the payoffs.
That's what they say. For real.
That is the only lines that all of his antagonists say. But yeah, we're even getting ahead of ourselves. Before it kind of goes off the rail and he starts, killing the people that have hired him. He gets invited to a normal looking dinner party. And he finds out that their child has brain cancer, which he cures with the old man that turns into a rock until he doesn't cure it later on. He gets a phone call on his one of many cell phones saying that it didn't work.
It's the flip phones, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I thought he cured her. No, I guess he didn't cure her.
Yeah, they called someone. He was in the middle of correspondence on his 8 laptops, and he picks up the phone and they go, and he's like, "What?
Oh, she's dead now."
Yeah, he's just like, it doesn't work, or it didn't work. So I guess the little magic rock that he found didn't cure the cancer like he thought it would. Because and I have a theory about this because I think he dropped it in one of the tuna cans, and maybe the aluminum, kind of messed with.
Or the tuna juice, maybe got to it or something.
Sure.
Yeah, took the power out of the rock.
Yeah.
Maybe he had the power in him all along, like in all the other movies that exist in the world. He just didn't realize it. And, once he lost the rock, he lost his self-confidence and his power. The man's a genius. He's a cinematic genius, really. He's ahead of his time. We just don't get it. That's what it is.
That must be it. I mean, Double Down is probably everyone's favorite. That's what everyone that's the gateway drug into Neil Breen films. That's the one that was made famous by Red Letter Media. PewDiePie was talking about it. I mean,
I saw that. Yeah, everyone is talking about it. Everyone. Yeah, everyone.
And it's made in 2005. God, did I think this was made in the 80s?
Well, he looks like he's the epitome of the 80s. He with the hair and the mullet and the tank tops and the moves and the man boobs. I mean, that's not 80s, but he is 80s, so 80s.
Yeah, in every single film, you at least get to see his ass, but in Double Down, you get to see his fabulous nutsack.
But the women, you don't see one nip. Now, one nipple will show because the women do not want anyone. They don't even want to be in the movie.
That is another thing.
They don't want to be in the movie.
That is true. He always casts himself because, this is his personification of what he thinks his life is. He always casts himself a very like young,
like 20-year-old girl.
20-year-old girl, and he's always smooching and like awkwardly hugging on him, like almost dancing with his
so grossed out.
Oh man, their face is just it looks like they just ate a can of tuna. Like they are just like
the shirts. They can have their shirts off. There's no boobies showing anywhere. No boobies.
And good for them, because I mean, it ain't worth it, honey.
the one girl that gets shot, she even has a thong on. She wasn't gonna be naked like he was. I mean, he was butt naked. She was like, no, I'm wearing this thong. I'm not being naked with him. No.
How would you describe his hairstyle? It's not quite a mullet.
That's a semi-mullet. It's an 80s kind of semi-mullety mess, dyed an ugly color of brown.
Oh. And and it's just complemented by the constant spray tan.
It is. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's nothing like it have I seen ever before.
Yeah. I mean, Double Down's a classic. Let's talk about I Am Here. ...
What's
now
all the dots for?
Made four years later, and this is when you thought that maybe the fame got to him, but you thought Breen was Fantasy Neil Breen and Double Down. He literally starts out coming down from a cross.
But did you notice though, when he first comes down, on his feet there's no blood. Then the next shot there's the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, I don't even know if they meant to do that or if that was an accident, or because there were some definite like whoopses in those movies.
Yeah, you could see the scenes quite a bit.
Down that one scene where he's eating the tuna and he drops it on his lap. I wonder if that was like on purpose or if it was an accident and they just kept it in the movie. I mean, I have no idea, but
it turns into an action scene, really.
Or was it supposed to be his sense of humor? His sense of humor are like, they're not funny. Like, that was not funny.
He's the king of cringe. I don't even know when he attempts humor. He just
a couple times, but no.
He stated he's just like because he goes to a screening sometimes, and he says, I sit in the back of the theater. This is quoting him. I sit in the back of the theater, and at the beginning, I hear a lot of laughs and giggles, and he's just like, by the second half of the film, though, those giggles start turning. It starts getting real quiet, and it starts going, oh, they start getting my films. This is right from him.
That's what he thinks. He thinks they're just in awe, going, what the hell am I watching?
Well, because the initial shock and awe of what you are watching is very humorous, but when you watch the entire unedited,
right,
you're like his theatrical releases, God, do they drag on? I mean, they're great, but I like watching Neil Breen films by going on YouTube and watching fan supercuts, because or else you're just going to watch the same scene 8 times and him say everything 3-5 times, and it's just
so long. Like him driving down the street will last for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, God. His Vegas shots, but he reuses them too. he does. He was driving down right. I think it was in front of Venetian or Palazzo, and then it cuts to something else. It cuts to him like looking at someone out the window. It cuts back, and it's the same. He's passing the same thing again.
The camera and the camera angles, everything. I mean, yeah. I didn't see the only one I saw the full length of was I'm here now. I'm here ... now. I saw that one, the full one. The other ones I saw the fan cuts, but that one, wow, it did. There were scenes that should have ended minutes, hours before they did. It was, yeah.
This movie, to set the scene a little bit, it's him coming off a cross in the middle of the desert with doll heads.
A lab coat. He's wearing a lab coat.
Yeah, he's got a lab coat with little doll heads. And at first, I wasn't even gonna lie. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. He's like really avant-garde right now.
And the crosses, the crosses are in the middle of nowhere. There's all these crosses sitting there. Like, what the heck are the crosses in the middle of the desert for?
But they're uppercase T's. They're not.
Right, they are. Yeah, they're not crosses. They're uppercase T's. Perfect.
Right. Yeah, there's like signposts because maybe he ran out of 2x4s. but he sets upon this couple that's in the middle of the desert that I swear to God, I thought they were shooting up the same bag of anthrax. I'm like, oh my God, it's because it's the same prop. So the prop for that he used for anthrax and Double Down is just basically baking soda wrapped in duct tape. And then he'll like poke holes in it to make it like seem like it's coming out or leaking. And so this couple is sitting there like shooting up and about to have sex and like drinking cheap beer. And all the girls always like unbutton their shirts right to the point where the wind kind of hits it. But it's
no
just
nip, though. Just
no nip,
almost, but no nip.
Sleazy, but not sleazy enough. I don't know. It's just So they're shooting up the bag of anthrax, which I guess is actually heroin, and he basically steals their clothes and then makes them invisible.
Yes, yeah. He steals the guy's clothes. Of course, the shirt's torn.
Right.
That had to be that way, I guess.
It makes him look badass that way.
Yeah, because he looks badass no matter what he does, right? Because he doesn't look badass no matter He can't look badass. I love him. I think he's amazing, but he just does not have badass. Well, he has very badass actually, but that's a whole other movie.
I think I said off air that this is someone that looks like our mother would have dated for sure.
Oh my God, you're so right. You would have married that man.
Oh, that could have been our stepfather. Probably was our stepfather.
Oh my God, she never met him.
He was in Vegas too. This was the film where he found out how to do a little bit of post effects. So because we get the Jedi mind trick about 40 to 50 times with a little light around it, and that's the answer for it. He's basically doing the Jedi mind trick, but to different effects. Like he'll make someone's eyes start bleeding, or make someone disappear. He's the all deity. He has created this universe, and he is very upset about all the corporate greed and lies that are going on.
Well, I love how he says all the other the planets I created in your solar system are doing great. It's this one that's all the other ones in our solar system, there's no life on them. So how are they doing so great? Yeah. Like, what are you saying? So
that's the point.
Yeah, right. There's no life there. So this one is going to come just destroy everybody. And that couple in the desert was so funny. They were hilarious.
Can we talk about the shrunken head mask?
The shrunken head mask. Why am I not?
The mask he's wearing in this.
What is that? What is that? What? Okay, there's some symbolism there. I'm not picking up. I mean, he went to like Party City, found the last mask they had of something, and I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
It looked. I think it might have been a Frankenstein, and he just put like a cheap black wig on it.
But what is what's the meaning behind? What does that mean? What's the symbolism behind that?
I don't know, but I am so happy he picked that because we got the most awkward sex scene.
He was planking her. He was like planking her. That's what it was. There was no movement. He was planking.
It's hard cutting between him laying on top of this poor girl, and not touching her, like not her face at all, until he switches back and it hard cuts back to him wearing the Halloween mask, and then he's like really
he's like rubbing her nose. He's like their nose rubbing.
Well, because when they cut, they got her actual boyfriend, to come and wear the mask. Probably, like I'm not letting this guy on top of me.
That poor girl. Have his face that close to her, like that. I don't get the mask. I don't understand that. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I guess maybe he assumed the human form because he was on our planet and he was really the mask guy.
For sure.
I'm guessing that's how he really looked.
It was more terrifying when they cut and the mask was off, I think.
right. That was the most awkward sex scene ever. He was planking. He was just planking.
There's no movement or anything. It was just a close-up. It was a very tight close-up of the side of people's faces. I mean, if you thought Tommy Wiseau directing The Room, he had awkward sex scenes. I mean, he's got nothing on Breen. Nothing. You told me that this is his movies would make The Room look like Academy Award, and you're right. The Room could have won an Academy Award compared to these movies easily. Yeah. You were so right on that one. So right.
But you know what? But I loved it. I love these movies. I mean, you were like, we're apologizing, waiting for death threats. Like, no, I love these. These were fantastic. These were like awesome.
Yeah, I mean, aside from dragging on a little bit too much and not being able to competently edit things, I mean, they are just
incredible,
priceless gems. So this one was more about he always has the same theme, like Debbie said, of corporate greed and
very political. He's very political,
but never tips his hand to which side, because I think he just hates everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. He hates everyone. I mean,
well, yeah, he hates bankers. He hates
bankers, lawyers, politicians. Who else?
Insurance agents.
Anybody who takes money from anyone. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't hate like the cashiers in 7-Eleven. I mean, anyone who takes money from anyone, he did not like.
Right.
He did. They're on. They were just going to be on.
So this film was centered around a couple of different actresses. They all were activists at some point,
right,
until they get laid off because it's all about money and the corporation just doesn't want to pay for cleaner, sustainable energy any longer.
And the only jobs, if you're fired, are to be a prostitute, a drug dealer, or a stripper, apparently.
Right.
Or a car thief, but you don't really steal the cars. You only steal the bags and things out of the cars.
Right.
But I guess the only jobs in Vegas, if you're laid off, are those of hooker and stripper, because that's what they said, basically.
Like, and they all work for one street gang, and this street gang is lives in front of this dilapidated building. So all crime in Vegas runs through this syndicate.
The big guy with the long hair, I couldn't tell if it was male or female at first. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. What was that? What was going on?
He was the foreign investor.
Oh, okay, I got it. He was very interesting.
My favorite was when because one of them had a baby that was a actual doll that was in the carriage.
You could tell it was a doll. You could see it was a doll. They didn't try.
They didn't try to cast a real baby for this. No. So one of the sisters talks the other sister that had the baby into being a prostitute. One of my favorite scenes of this film is when they go to said criminal den, which is just a front lawn in front of a rundown house, and one the two thugs start arguing, and one of them just blows the other one away, just like shoots him. Shoots him in the arm.
Yeah. Until
he's back in the scene 5 minutes later, and he's totally fine.
His hand's fine. He's fine. I'm like, there's no continuity. Where's the continuity? There's none.
No. No. Yeah, it's just, oh god, this one was it was a very awkward pool scene, which is pool scene. You want to talk about the pool scene, Deb?
The pool scene was fabulous. It was like, first of all, they have the champagne. They have to hide the label because copyright, whatever. There's no label.
No. It was a Dom. He was very proud of that bottle because he used it in Double Down also.
Oh, that's right. And the pour scene was like, why was the pour scene so long? Remember they're pouring it in the glasses and forever? Like, not enough in this one, not enough in this one. Let's pour some more in here. I'm like, really? The pour scene is that important?
Well, that's Breen films, especially this film. Everything has to be meticulous and shown. Just like, so the sisters go and they have this dirty politician or whatever the fuck he was.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of not even dancing or anything. They're just kind of standing awkwardly by him.
They get in the pool and fall off the raft, so they can't get on the raft.
Yeah. Oh, that was.
One girl hits her head on the side.
Yes.
Like, oh my god.
Yes. And of course, no editing. We get to see all of this.
Yep.
Yeah. This poor girl tries to jump on this flimsy little pool mat, and she gets catapulted off. It smacks the back of her head. Good for her, man. She just kind of rolled with it.
She kept going.
Oh, jeez.
They get out first. They back into the pool. So they don't even turn around. They back.
Right.
Then they back. Like Then they take their tops off, but you never see the boobs at all.
Right.
No boobs. And then they just laugh. There's a long scene of them just laughing. You do it like for 10 minutes, and like I don't understand what that was all about.
And it cuts back to him making creepy creeper face.
Ugh, he was really creepy.
I mean, he was no oh god, now I just screwed that joke up. He was no Keith David from Requiem for a Dream. But he just literally was just standing there looking at these girls laugh. I'm like, are they laughing at him? Like,
I don't even know.
And it's the same pool that is featured in Double Down and Fateful Findings.
It's his pool, probably.
It's his pool.
His pool in his house. It's cheap. Yeah. It's cheap to use. It's his pool.
Yeah.
Pool. And then he goes off on these like crazy like monologues. Who's he talking to?
Did he go on a monologue on this? I'm sure he did.
He just starts randomly talking. There can be people right there. He's looking over there talking to nobody. He just talks.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you do?
He's got a message, Deb. He needs to talk about it.
Got a message. That's sustainable energy. That was all about sustainable energy.
Yes, I am here. ... Now is all about sustainable energy and why corporations are just looking for the payback. And
the stock footage of the windmill. What are they called? The windmills. What are those called? Those giant those energy windmill things.
Yeah, like in Tehachapi.
He showed that like 10 times in that movie.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that was another thing. So you know the scene where it's all like the solar panels and all that. I used to have man, this was like 7 years ago now. But I worked as like a linen delivery guy, so like I would deliver uniforms and like floor mats and stuff like that. And one of my route stops was at that place.
Oh no!
I swear to God, it's on the way. So like, if you're in Vegas and you get on like the 95 or something, all the way out to like Boulder City, on the way to Boulder City, you can make this hard right, and then you just go down this horrible road and there's nothing, and then just out of nowhere it's this like you just see solar panels everywhere. So there's a little house in there that I had to go to and drop off a single uniform because one person manned this entire thing, and it was just the worst, and it was so creepy, and I had to go there like when it was dark and stuff. It's just terrifying out there, but I was just like floored when I saw that because I've been there and no one's been there.
You've been there.
Oh God, I wish I've never been there now.
Well, no, but now you can see you were where he was. It's great. You were at the filming site. It's awesome.
Oh man,
what do the doll heads mean? What was it like the symbol, like those doll heads? I don't understand the doll heads at all.
So once he put all the businessmen and he crucified them on the uppercase T's, that's when he went back. His job was done. He woke up the heroin addicts that were in the middle of the desert.
The one that after he shot up, it was all still in the needle. There's nothing. Oh, look, all the stuff was still in the needle. Nothing was even. But there was blood. But there was just like all the liquid was still there. So,
I was very surprised there was blood.
Right. I didn't understand one either.
But talking about blood, he did use the same shot of just trickling red paint on the desert.
Like 10 times.
10 times.
You're off. Oh, that was a different movie. Wait. What? It's a different movie when it comes
No, that was I Am Here Now.
Yeah, you're off in the hand. And yeah, he used the same blood scene so many times.
Yeah. So yeah, then he got back. He ended the movie with the same shots that he did, but in reverse. So it just showed him going back on the
lab coat.
Yep.
And he's like gone. He's like, I'm gonna come. Then he says, I'll come back like 5 times in a row. He has to repeat it 5 times in a row.
And everyone said no, thank you.
And they're like, please don't come back.
Please take your Party City mask and please just go.
Your lab coat and don't come back. the one girl chases after him. Please take me with you. What?
I don't even think he did though, right?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He's like, go away, go. Yeah. Go make good things happen. Go be good. Go use more sustainable energy and stuff.
That's right. Man. Your boyfriend's dead because he tried to rob a car and bring it to the wrong gang members.
Oh, you're on our turf. So oh my God, that scene. The sounds of them punching him. The sounds were... Is that not the funniest thing you've ever heard?
I forgot about the Reservoir Dog scene. Yeah.
Yeah. waiting for that song to play.
Oh, they couldn't afford that. Are you
And
kidding
when
me?
they got the sound, it was like this like sound. The punching sound was so ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So that's probably, well, we'll
That
get
was
to
oh,
our favorite and our least favorite. Let's go to if your favorite's not Double Down, usually from what I heard, especially on the Twitter poll, Fateful Findings is kind of the pick.
they're all my favorite.
Man, Fateful Findings is just fantastic.
Absolutely.
This film, because he gets hit by a car in the first 5 minutes.
Right. Or the Rolls Royce.
Yes, of course. It has to be a Rolls Royce.
Rolls.
But he's okay, right? And then he has
a woman's legs in a miniskirt.
What's that?
They see some woman get out, and she has like high heels and a miniskirt, like this hookery looking from the waist down lady. Yeah. I don't know what that was about.
Oh, all of them do. His wife, the woman he. Oh, we got to see childhood Neil Breen. I forgot about that.
That's right. Because when he was 7, he had the love of his life when he was 7.
Right. Although that later on, when they meet up again, he's still 60 years old and she is like 18.
I don't understand that one either.
Oh, this has probably one of the best, probably the most memeable movie. This is the one where he has, it's the Return of the Laptops, and he just fucking hates the laptops.
He throws me, spills coffee on him, he hits him, he just, and they're never on. They're still never on.
No, but he's so abusive to these laptops in this one.
They're old, but yeah, he's very abusive to the laptops.
And he's a writer in this one, if I remember correctly.
Well, no, he says he's a writer, but he's really investigating the government. But it's a secret,
right? For their corruption and secrets.
Right. But he's under the guise of being a writer. And everyone's taking pills. Like everyone's on pills.
Yeah.
Like everyone, except for him.
Except for him, the guy that actually needs it because he got hit by a car.
He needs pills anyway. He needs pills. But no, he was on pills and he wouldn't take them anymore. He had like 2 different shrinks he was seeing, and then he did no more pills, and the wife took the pills, and then the funny thing was when she died, he didn't even care. He was like, they had the other girl back, so he didn't give a shit. He didn't just like, okay, you're dead now. I don't even care. Good.
Yeah.
I have her now because bye.
The death count in this film was staggering. I mean, you had the like you mentioned, the wife eventually commits suicide by all the her vice finally gets her. Right. But the other family, their friends, the wife that's always wearing a youth small tank top, with her like muscly husband that she murders and then plants the gun.
And he's always trying to get in her pants, and she's like, no. He keeps trying to sleep with her, and she's like, no, her own husband. She's like, don't touch me. No, go away. And
goes, I'm in pain, or I'm tired, or something. He's like,
I don't like you. Or then the stepdaughter who tries to hit on Neil Breen, who's like 18, 17.
Oh, that was really creepy.
Creep in the pool, like she's all, hey, he told her to go away. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse.
He should never have even been in the bathroom with her without her top on. She looked way too young.
She was like underage, so underage.
This film. I mean, yeah.
How do you make sense of that? How do you even make sense of that film? It's like she kills her husband and then tells the stepdaughter, "You didn't see anything," and she's like, "Yeah, I did." But there's no police, and I mean, it's nothing happens that would happen.
Right. Yeah. This film is like, when I was watching it was the most enjoyable, but it's also the most forgettable because it was so stupid and so absurd, but not over the top. It's not Neil Breen coming off of a T-cross or Neil Breen eating tuna. So it's like it's him in, like, all I remember of this is just him messing up his office a lot.
Yeah, and well, at the end though, all those people he was after like killed themselves.
Oh, I forget.
They were like, I resign, bam, and they blow their heads off. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh
You're
man.
a banker and you're corrupt, so you're gonna kill yourself. You're like an insurance agent. You're gonna kill yourself.
And they all okay, so they all kill themselves. Some of them right there on the podium,
Right.
met with erupting applause.
I was like amazed. If that would happen now, to certain people who do it now, it'd be great. I could do it, it'd be fine. But I'm like, really?
Yeah, but I mean, he went down the suicide gambit too. I mean, we got an exhaust suffocation, in the car from the lady. We had a 13 Reasons Why, slit in the wrist, and then straight up on the podium shooting themselves in the head. Wow, yeah, that was
every movie he kills. I mean, he kills people in every movie. I mean, people are,
and it's ramping up too.
He's gonna get killed. Like one day, he's gonna lose his shit and start really killing people.
Hashtag eyes on Breen.
Yeah, exactly.
And the final film that we could talk about is Pass Through. That one just came out in 2016.
The lion, the tiger. I mean, it was worse than the one they had in The Walking Dead. It was like the worst tiger ever.
Yes. And actually, it didn't even look bad until. Well, I mean, yes, it looked terrible. But for a Breen, I'm saying in context here. It looked pretty good. Like there was a point where the tiger's face is right here and he's looking at it, but then he didn't cut. Right. The stock footage kept going and the tiger moves and you see a snowy background and they're in the middle of the fucking desert.
I know. What is that? And so he's a junkie. He's living like in his trailer. He's like a junkie. Like, okay, so now he's not God anymore. Then he became godlike again. That was the one where he ran up and down the most hills, though. He did the most running up and down the hills in that movie.
I was glad to see him back living in the desert. I don't know. Desert Breen is better because, in Fateful Findings, he was like in his house again.
He didn't look right in a house. Houses aren't for him. He's a hill guy.
Yeah. So it was great to see him. And then, those the aunt and the niece who were definitely different ethnical backgrounds. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't.
A little odd.
It's highly unlikely. And they all these immigrants show up at the same time. They get to a fence and they break down the little fence and they all pass through. And then the woman on the other side immediately kills a grandmother and a small child.
Right. Like, wow. And I like how they're complaining about how bad their countries are. They all have American accents. Not one of them has an accent from another country.
Yeah.
This one black lady saying how her country is so terrible, but she sounds like she lives right here. I mean, what country are you from? Like you're from here. I mean, no one was from anywhere else. I mean, I hate my country. I hate my country. I hate my country. Well, you all sound American to me. So I don't know what country you're talking about other than this one. So at least get accents going. Just do something.
Well, you were a big fan of Screaming Black Lady, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Totally. That's the one that takes out the grandma, and then the poor kid looks up and says, "Why would you do that?" She goes, "Because I have no respect for your human life." Boom.
And did you notice I think it was that movie where when they shot somebody. Maybe it wasn't that movie. One of the movies when they used the guns, it was animated flames flew out of the gun.
Yes,
that movie.
It was Passed Through. Absolutely.
That was hilarious. It was like animated little fire came out of the gun. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
With the torch too, or with someone lit a cigarette or something, and they did an animated flame.
Why do they? You don't need to use an animated flame with a torch. A torch will actually make fire.
Right. But it's Neil Breen.
And again, they're like loading the guns, and there's nothing in the clips. The clips are empty. They're all empty always.
Yeah.
Airsoft guns.
But it's the same handgun props and whatever assault rifles that he's used since Double Down. So at least that's consistent.
He's consistent with his props. At least he's very consistent with his props.
Absolutely. So this was the one where they literally find him in the desert, and this has been 11 years since they made Double Down. So it looks like he's not really getting away with casting these young women to like fondle him like he wants in these films anymore. because the girl, like the aunt, I guess,
she yelled at him the whole time. She just yelled at him always.
She just hated him, and she's like a real. I did some research. She's been on real TV shows, and she's like a real martial artist. So he didn't dare like write a scene where they were making out.
No, she just yelled at him with some water. No, he went no. She yelled at him all the time. Then all of a sudden, the next scene, she's like, "Hi, how are you?" Whoa,
Yeah.
what? Wait, what happened? Why are you nice now? Why? I don't understand.
Oh, because he grows on you like a cancer growth.
A wart.
Ugh. This had my favorite scene in a Neil Breen film, and that's when the aunt and the niece did not want to stay in his disgusting raper van, and so he proceeds to throw out the tuna cans and
everything out the door. Everything. It's clean now. It's clean now. He says like 5 times.
Yes.
Now he's like, we're not going in there. It's clean now.
See, it's clean. Yeah.
Clean. Like Breen is clean.
Yeah, but you're still in there. Yeah.
Him and his Breenists are all in there. It's like no, just living in filth. I don't understand.
So yeah, they all wind. So and the huge takeaway from Pass Through is that his purchase of a drone, because we're actually getting some aerial shots now.
Right. Well, or he had a friend with a drone. He didn't really have.
Yeah.
There was a drone. Yeah, sorry. Or he found some drone footage and decided to use it or something.
Well, so the drone footage was literally him like strafing the hill and just like standing on a hill.
Right. That's right. I kept waiting for him to fall. I mean, the rocks underneath his feet. I kept waiting for him to just eat shit and go down. And they wouldn't even edit it out because the editing was terrible. He just would have fallen and out of it.
And that would have been done. Yeah. This was a similar character to him in I Am Here ... Now, where he is this all-knowing, but he's, like you said, he's now an addict. He's a junkie deity. So now he just kind of walks up to hills and mountainsides and then phases into them, where he finds and communicates with his tiger.
What gets me is like in the part where he shoots up and then he's like, so does he die and leave his body? Is that what's happening? And then so he's laying there dead, and it's his deity spirit running around cleaning out the trash in his trailer.
Sure.
What was the deal with it? You just can't. And I was reading some interviews with him too, and a lot of things he said that's for you to figure out. Like, oh, so you don't even know that. So you don't even know the answer to the question. So we're supposed to figure them out for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's for you. It's for you to figure out. It's for you to you put meaning to it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did. I put plenty of meaning to it. Believe me. Lots of meaning.
It's about sustainable energy and corporate corruption and payoffs.
He could have done all that. All could have been done in one movie. It all could have been one movie. Really.
Yeah. It really could have been. I think Fateful Findings. That
was different. That was a little different. Yeah.
The most different, and maybe that's why everyone likes that either the best or really like has affection towards that film, because it does kind of feel. I mean, he's still hacking the government systems on his.
He's almost human. He's human in that one. He's like
his 1980s laptops that don't work that he destroys.
Oh, they're never on.
Yeah. And then I mean, we go full Breen. Never go full Breen. We go full Breen at the end of this film, and he is just going from house party to house party, listening to the villainous bankers and corporate guys and insurance agents talk about their dastardly plans and how they're laughing to each other.
They do. They talk about those things out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. We have no
You have no scruples. We're going to take off everyone's money, and we're going to. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, with no consideration for the customer. You know what? You know what happened to Neil Breen to set him down on this path? He called he was late on his cell phone once, and he called a cell phone company, and they put him on hold, or for too long, or he just felt like he had a late charge, and maybe it was their fault, and they wouldn't take it off, and it just set this man on this trajectory.
I'm on a vendetta against everything, everyone. Yeah.
This whole career is based off a very bad day.
He was on hold for too long or something. Something happened, and he just lost his shit.
And he couldn't get a person on the phone, so he's just like, it's because of corporate greed, and they don't hire people anymore. It's just all automation.
Well, I do the same thing when I can't get a person on the phone.
So you need to make a film like this.
I probably should, but it wouldn't be nearly as good as his. Like, I just couldn't pull that off.
Oh man, I mean, and the end of this, I mean, he literally mass murders 300 million people.
What is that?
He snapshires. This is like, forget the Avengers, Infinity War.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Thanos. Thanos who?
Nothing on him. Nothing on Thanos. Nothing.
Yeah,
like everybody.
He phases into the newscast room, even though the newscast people aren't even bad.
That was hilarious.
And goes, you know, your end of whatever, you're done. They're just like, oh God, someone get help. No, you can't call anyone because you're gone.
You're gone. You're gone. They fade away. Where do they go? Where do they go when they fade away?
They go on timeout.
Where do they go? I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know moments.
But that's when we get the best Breen monologue. I mean, that's when he just goes full Breen and is talking to the camera and basically saying, "I'm coming for you."
That's a whole new like what is a whole new thing to say to somebody, like, dude, you're going full Breen. You're going full Breen.
Eyes on Breen.
The new thing to say to people. It's like I haven't even thought of that before. Like, dude, you're going full Breen.
Going full Breen. Hashtag no more books and hashtag eyes on Breen, and now hashtag full Breen.
Hashtag full Breen. him and his Breenus in the pool. Yeah.
His Breenus, is that like his anus and his?
That's like the sack scene.
Oh, he looks like a giant nut sack.
He looks like someone mom would have married.
Speaking of nut sacks, Twisted Pair is next.
I can't wait to see that. I read about it. I know what it's about. It should be but there's two of him. Can you really handle two of him?
Double the Breen. One of them has a very awesome looking beard.
Oh, well, that's awesome. But same lovely color brown, of dyed brown.
No, it's gray.
Oh, it's gray. Oh, and I did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't even, he's like, in most of the movies, he always says, he's always like an AI guy. He's never like a real guy. Well,
right.
Except for the one where he's in the house. But the twins are AI twins. They're not like real. That was in what I read too. That should be. I can't wait to see that. It's done. It's out. It's somewhere. It's being shown places. I want to. The thing is, now I have to see his movies. What did you do to me? What did
I told you.
I have to see all the movies he ever. I watched interviews with him. I was like, went down this rabbit hole with him because of you. Thank you. But I liked it in this weird way. I don't know. It's
the worst kind of train wreck because you just
can't stop watching.
You just can't. I mean, there's greats like Len Krasinski. I think I'm saying his name wrong. Tommy Wiseau. You know, on the Mount Rushmore of just horrible movies, but ones that you just have to watch. Neil Breen is the Abe Lincoln of that motherfucker.
I love him. He's a genius with this. He's the genius of horribleness.
And there's no signs of stopping. Just watching the Twisted Pair trailer, it looks like the production value is going up a little bit. There's special effects. Looks like there's more than 4 actors in it. I mean,
and where are they? Okay. Where do they find these actors?
Actors. I mean,
like they find on the street and go, "Hey, say these lines. Here's $10. Will you say this?" Where do they find that? Where do they? Even the women, none of them can act their way out of a paper bag. I don't understand where he finds the actors at all.
Oh man,
I don't know. I don't know.
But you know what? He's so confident in his own bullshit. He delivers every line so well. Where everyone else is like, "I'm reading a script right now. I like corporate payoffs." And he's
sorry, we have to lay you off because we don't have the money anymore to pay you. But he's just like, yeah. So yeah, you're right. He's so confident in what he says. That's why he says it twice or 3 times.
Why he says it twice, and that's another. I had another theory about that. It's like he's an architect and he used to sell real estate. Right. So he has dealt with probably maybe some famous people, maybe, and you know, maybe people that went to film school. Maybe he has like a rich film school buddy and they're just like, yeah, you know, when I was doing a commercial or something, we do multiple takes. So maybe that's why he's saying things multiple times. He's just forgetting to edit it out.
Oh my God. I was reading on a biography of him. No film school, no acting classes, no nothing. He just decided to act and didn't know what he was doing. But yeah, that's where the two lines come from too. But or three times or four times or whatever, how many times he decided to say them. And sometimes there were lines that didn't mean anything. They were like these dumb lines that he had to say twice. Like, why are you saying this more than once? Why are you even saying it once? Why are you doing that? The reaction, oh my God, the reactions. The reaction when the one gets shot, the yell he does, sounds like he's having an orgasm. Not like
when his wife is shot in the pool in Double Down, it looks like he's having an orgasm holding her.
Like, what was that? The sound he makes. What is that sound? Are you have an orgasm? Or are you sad?
Ugh. I don't think that man is capable of an orgasm anymore.
Oh God, I don't want to think about him having an orgasm.
Oh God, this is, I don't know, but I mean, look, I mean, we're talking about him. Way more famous people than us are talking about him. This is a borderline elderly man that's just living the dream, self-funding everything. I mean, there's something to be said about that. Good on you, brother. Do it, man, because everything that you make, I'm gonna watch. So you did it.
And in the first couple movies, there was like no lighting, there was no makeup, there was none of that. It was just there,
just spray tan, yeah.
Just spray tan. And as it went on, it got more. He got a little more technical. I thought he did his own editing because it was so bad, but no, he didn't do his own editing. Everything else he did, I
think he even did some of the scores too.
Well, it was all the stock. You mean the stock music?
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
Where to put it? Yeah.
Sure.
Where you go.
Oh, geez. Neil Francis Breen, God love you.
God among men.
You are God, or
God.
whatever. You're above God. You're, some deity that uses, God just uses lowercase t's as his symbol. You use the uppercase.
Yeah, the uppercase t's. I mean,
yep.
He's amazing, and you have to like love him in this weird way because I'm so confused. I'm still so confused by all this.
Oh boy. Well, yeah. I mean, this is real actors. I guess. I'm sorry, everyone.
real. I mean, everything from the editing to the camera angles to everything was just wrong. But it was so right. But it was so right at the same time. I'm glad I'd never heard of him before. I'd never heard of him. I'm really glad that you did that. You showed me him because I never would have found him well, maybe one day, but thank you, John, because you showed me a whole new thing. I mean, I'd seen The Room, and that was to me was the worst thing ever until this.
Yeah, and I mean, making movies is hard. Like we have a mutual friend in Tony Walters and Dan Murphy and Rebecca Erb and all them. They make movies.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard to do. So
they make better movies than he does.
Well, yeah. It's just yeah.
I don't. I went to a System of a Down concert and have 11 minutes of footage of System of a Down with my phone in my pocket. That's how I make movies. So he makes better movies than I do because I have 11 minutes of footage of nothing. So yeah, I don't do it very well. But so I have to give him props for that. At least he just doesn't do that.
Breen films are not the movies that we wanted, but they're the movies that we deserve.
We need.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Deb, where can everyone find you? Thanks for coming back on. We'll do this again soon.
We do this more. We've you dumped us. You totally dumped us.
No, it's not me. It's you fools. Well,
I'm always. Becky's the one who's off doing her thing with what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Becky is literally with Zach Baggins from Ghost Adventures right now, and I'm not even making that up. So
no, I can't believe she's working. I had a crush on that man for the last 10 years of my life. My secret's out. Okay. I think even when he was wearing Ed Hardy clothes, I still had this little secret crush, and now she's working for him. I'm like, you are not my sister anymore because you're the guy that I've had a crush on for 10 years. But no, she's not available so much anymore. Now that she's with the Baggins. So
with the Baggins, not Bilbo, but
no, not Bilbo. No,
quite the opposite, actually.
It's not Bilbo.
But yeah, we'll be doing this again soon, hopefully on a real actor. But
what, are you saying Breen? Breen? Hey, Breen's a real actor.
I know he's probably got me bugged somewhere. I better watch what I say.
I hashtagged in whatever I wrote, so maybe, like maybe he's watching.
That's right. All right. Where can everyone find you, Deb?
Nowhere anymore because like all of the voice acting went away and like everything just kind of went away. So I'm on Twitter still, but I'm going to change the name from The Walking Dead because I'm so sick of The Walking Dead now that I'm going to change it to something else because in protest. So yeah, we're going to change that, but that's where I am, and then with you here, and that's about it.
Awesome. Well,
I'm on Facebook you can all look at if you want. But that's about it.
Yeah, Facebook you look at. You can find me right here on this very channel. You could also find me on Twitter at OrsAvDone, Reddit as well. Also on, yeah, that's pretty much it. Find my other podcasts and syndication on constructive criticism if you want to hear about Magic the Gathering stuff.
I watch your Hooligans once in a while, and I like to watch it because I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. Like, you're speaking a whole other language. But I know something like Ted's all, hey, Dad. Like, hi, Ted. Eric,
Yeah.
hi, Eric. So that's my thing. But you guys are talking about stuff I'm going. I'm just his sister, and I'm here to support him. I don't even know.
Well, that's nice.
So I come to watch.
Yeah, that was a fun episode we just did. But yeah,
I liked it. I don't know what you were saying, but it was fun.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. We'll think about what we're doing next with this channel. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Hail Breen.
Hail Breen. Eyes on Breen.